So, you thought it over? I'm on my way to the...
Well, I'll be plowed by a ferret.
Yeah. Witcher Geralt of Rivia.
Ah, you're a witcher like any other. But those swords, things of beauty.
Nothing special about them.
Ah, you're mistaken. Few know how to make a silver blade today, fish eat me if I'm lying, and engraving runes is not exactly farting down a rain spout. I wouldn't mind a closer look at your swords. Care to browse through my wares?
I'd like to play dice.
No, go. I'll play you once I know you've beaten the innkeeper and Cecil.
I don't know what to consider.
You play dice?
Aye. Us two and the Smith's apprentice.
And that's it?
In Vergen, there's also the headman, Cecil Burden, and the innkeeper. But they won't play unless you prove your worth. Which you could by beating us.
Show me what you can do.
I'm first. I'd like a rematch.
Care to roll a few rounds? Give me a chance to win it back.
What is it, Witcher?
Who is that girl?
Cynthia, a leashed sorceress.
A charming expression. Do you also use muzzles?
Leash means a connection between a sorceress and her assistant. An unfortunate term, I admit, but it explains how things are. Cynthia can tap my power, use my spells. She's a conduit. And she's learning along the way. It's convenient, and except for the name, not derisive at all. But you're not here to talk about Cynthia.
How is it that King Radovid's court sorceress and advisor is supporting rebellion in Edirn?
This has grown into more than a simple rebellion, Witcher. Prince Stennis' arrival here confirmed Saskia's right to represent Edirn.
Saskia isn't fighting for Edirn, but for the Pontar Valley. Even Prince Stennis considers you rebels. He hasn't moved against you because war with Kedwin hangs by a thread. Why are you here, sorceress of Tretogor?
It is my duty. If Henselt occupies the Pontar Valley, Redania and Temeria will respond strongly. The North will disintegrate, its unity gone. A dark scenario that is nevertheless avoidable, provided Saskia is successful and wins the Valley's independence.
Even if she thwarts Henselt, there'll be no independence without agreement from Redania and Temeria.
Temeria's expansionist plans melted away with Foltest's death. Redania's ruler is unpredictable, but even he'll have to respect a victory. I'm here to make this victory a fact.
Is what they say true? Did Saskia kill a dragon?
Prince Stennis decorated her for it at the court in Vengerberg, so it appears to be true. If you want to know the details, talk to Biggerhorn. Apparently he witnessed it.
Have you heard about a Witcher's school? Apparently the Viper's their sign.
No, why do you ask?
The Kingslayer wears a medallion adorned with a viper.
Pretentious and childish for my taste. He can't be very smart.
A sorceress like you ought to know bundles about the wild hunt.
A sorceress's knowledge has nothing to do with superstitions.
The hunt's not a superstition.
True, the phenomenon seems to exist.
I want to know everything there is to know about it.
It's strictly atmospheric. It doesn't interest me. Just as whirlwinds, whirlpools, and snowfalls do not interest me.
I'm looking for Triss. Letho forced her to teleport near Vergen.
Letho?
Foltest's killer, perhaps Demavend's too. Will you help me find her?
Certainly. We sorceresses must stick together. We have too many enemies.
Triss contacted you through Sheila de Tanzerville's megascope while in Flotsam.
And I haven't heard from her since.
Can you locate her?
A megascope responds to a person's aura. If I had something of hers, I could find her. You were close to her. Maybe you have something.
No, I don't have anything.
Not good. Wait. A local drunkard claims he saw a redhead fall out of the sky. This could be a lead.
I never heard of flying women before.
Perhaps they're just drunken delusions. It's possible, however, that an unstable teleport ejected Triss near the town.
As it's our only lead, I'll talk to this drunkard. Do you know him?
I'm not used to associating with drunkards, but you'll likely find him in the inn.
Thank you.
Come back as soon as you learn anything. You wanted to discuss something?
You said we'd need a magical object to cure Saskia. Any ideas where I might start looking?
Magical items do not grow on trees, as you know. Luckily, this area has a long history. There's the Battle of Wraiths, the site of Sabrina Glevisig's death and suffering, the abandoned mines.
I was hoping you'd be specific.
I won't ask you to traipse around with a divining rod, but please try to be a little inventive. Ask the locals, that's always a good place to start. I dare say Alderman Burden knows every last stone in the area. Maybe you should see him. You wanted to discuss something?
At the council, you mentioned artifacts were needed to undo the curse.
But I can't look for them now.
I can do that.
Why?
I have my reasons. Tell me something. What happened here 3 years ago?
Henselt attacked Edirn, but met his match. Nobody won that war. Sabrina Glevisig got into a conflict with the commander-in-chief of the Kedweni forces, and this led to both armies being routed. Fireballs turned the battlefield into a flaming tomb. Henselt accused Sabrina of using a forbidden weapon.
And Sabrina cursed Henselt.
I think so. I suspect the curse got out of hand because of the circumstances.
Circumstances? The stars weren't right, wrong phase of the moon. There's always an excuse for simple bungling.
She placed the curse while burning at the stake. Her hands and feet nailed to a wagon wheel. I'd say she did a good job, considering.
Know anything about blood curses?
Do you?
We're dealing with a 4th-level curse, also known as the Curse of the Archmistress.
Well, well, I'm impressed.
Thing is, until now I thought it was only a myth, that such a curse couldn't be cast.
You thought wrong. There are 6 confirmed cases of this curse being inflicted.
What about confirmed cases of it being lifted?
1. Achieved by a team of sorcerers led by Archmistress Francesca Finderbear, hence the curse's other name. Sabrina Glevisig was on the team.
Small world.
That's not all. The curse investigated by Francesca and Sabrina was designed to end the Tyson dynasty, the rulers of Kovir. They were cursed by Scarlet Rodalega, a complete madman, but very talented. An eclipse and wraiths also accompanied his curse.
So Sabrina's curse is just a knockoff Rodolega.
Exactly.
Can Francesca's experience help us?
Certainly. I know the symbols and the workings of the curse thanks to her.
Care to explain? I'm the one risking my neck.
You'll have to relive the battle and change its course at the right moment. I don't know exactly what will happen. Nobody does.
I'll look for those artifacts. Did you notice? Not all the ghosts were aggressive.
Yes. Most just disappeared when they touched the aura of a living person.
I think the curse corrupts the ghosts of the fallen and turns them into draugrs.
Is that the Witcher's professional name for wraiths?
Draugrs are demons of war. They arise at sites of exceptionally vicious, bloody battles. Their bloodlust and hatred in condensed form.
Can you kill them by conventional means?
A silver sword is enough for a draugr, but as long as the curse remains active, new ones will arise. The soldiers' ghosts are the key. If I could turn the tide of the battle...
For that you'll need symbols of war belonging to those who fell in battle. Hatred, death, courage, and faith. All artifacts must be magically active and connected to the fallen, or they won't lure the ghosts.
Right. I'll look around.
Finding 2 will be enough. Get the symbols of hatred and death and leave the rest to me.
I'd prefer courage and faith.
Don't fuss.
I'll see what I can do. Cecil seems to know a lot about the area. I'm good for now. I'll let you know when I learn something. Medallion's vibrating. Who are you?
I'm Cynthia, a mage in training. Philippa is my mentor.
My condolences.
No need for that. True, she's a demanding mistress, but she can also be charming. Besides, she's the best there is, Witcher. She has no equals, excepting perhaps the old elven sorceresses. You should see her cast spells. Light and graceful she is, not like that old tart de Tanzaville.
You know Sheila?
I've seen her cast spells. I've seen all the great sorceresses at work. Sheila's quite manly in her style. Precise, logical, exceptionally composed. But she lacks grace and suppleness.
Is that your opinion? Or are you just repeating what Philippa says?
We agree in our assessment. Triss Marigold, on the other hand, is talented. But she lacks determination, courage, and a certain cold willfulness that seems necessary.
That's interesting.
Kira Metz and Margarita Low-Antiel are both blasé, seemingly resigned. One's a hedonist and nymphomaniac. The other cares only about her school. They lost enthusiasm for magic long ago. Then there's Francesca Finderbear. Nobody really knows what the old she-elf is capable of. But she's clearly very powerful.
I take it Philippa has none of these flaws, but she must have some weakness.
Ambition. Infinite, boundless, and burning like the Korath Desert.
Just out of curiosity, how much does a magic course cost these days?
I'm certain you can't afford it, Witcher. Besides, you're too old.
No matter. I have a few of my own tricks as it is.
You mean Witcher's signs? Philippa can conjure up the illusion of a garden full of flowers, fruit trees, and young elves of both sexes copulating merrily all the day. And the illusion is complete. The flowers have an aroma. The fruit and she-elves are juicy.
Invite me over the next time she conjures up this garden. I'd gladly see it. Professional curiosity.
Naturally. But I doubt Philippa's in the mood for complicated illusions. She focuses all her efforts on Saskia.
So, you thought it over? I'm on my way. Bieber!
Eh? That's a witcher, not a human.
Would you look at that, friends? Geralt of Rivia. Coincidences do happen.
Greetings.
You don't know me, but I know you. I'm an employee of the Vivaldis Bank, and on business here, and to check up on the local mine's profitability.
Vivaldi doing all right?
Full of beans! And as per the instructions given to each of the bank's agents, I hasten to inform you that you have unlimited credit.
I could use a loan about now.
Sure thing. However, my means are limited. I can offer you the standard short-term loan for those working in high-risk professions. Will that do you?
I'm sure Vivaldi wouldn't mind if I borrowed a bit more than that.
It's nearly all I've got on me. I'll manage somehow. Nope.
Take care, what's up?
I never finished telling you about him. So, we were working at the port, and suddenly, Canary's dead. I broke out in a cold sweat. I started sniffing intensely like a dog in a butcher.
Pray tell, what compels you to disturb the Prince of Edirn, Witcher?
I have a few questions.
And you believe I should answer them instead of setting my dogs on you?
I think your Royal Highness has enough foes. Here, abroad, in Vengerberg.
The intricacies of succession are not something I wish to discuss with an itinerant monster slayer.
Succession is the topic of choice in about every inn in the country. I don't know for sure, but I think the hangman of Vengerberg was the last to claim the throne.
My patience has its limits, and at present, only my respect for Lady Saskia restrains my anger. Come to the point, or leave me be.
Don't change the subject, Prince.
So be it. Let us set our differences aside and speak as equals.
Then tell me what you're doing so far away from the capital. Why aren't you in Vengerberg being crowned?
Well, sadly, my position is not strong there. My father emboldened the nobles. The great families have decided in this hour, so critical for the realm, to revolt.
Your title to the throne is indisputable.
Edirn has become a lawless land, ruled by those who wield might, by those whom people follow. I intend to show just how worthy I am of the crown, and thus claim what's mine.
By returning to Vengerberg a hero, there should be no shortage of opportunities here.
I don't like your tone, Witcher.
I'm trying to figure out where this fog came from. What exactly happened here 3 years ago?
Hensel's mages committed mass murder. A dark day for the knighthood and all people of honor. But it was honor that allowed us to survive. There was no defeat, no victory. Honor stood against wickedness, virtue against black magic.
You took part in that battle?
My father stayed in the capital. He was to defend Vengerberg. I took to the field. I wanted to stop Henselt before he crossed the Pontar, but I was too late. So I decided to await him at Vergen. Henselt's army was exhausted. We would have triumphed if not for that heinous act. Henselt had mages with him, and they cast a treacherous spell on the entire battlefield. A fiery rain fell from the heavens. Destructive, murderous embers which brought the battle to an end. I gathered the few survivors and withdrew deep into the country. The soldiers were terrified, but Henselt showed no desire to pursue.
Only a master mage could have cast such a powerful spell, and I suspect he could not have accomplished it alone.
I remember Sabrina Glevesig. Through the flames I saw her observing the carnage from her mount, dressed in a hunting suit. Straight-backed, dispassionate.
Sabrina. If I remember correctly, she's Henselt's advisor.
Was. Henselt condemned her to death for casting that spell. The Kedwenis roasted in their armour, just the same way the Edurnians did. You know what struck me when all hell broke loose? What I found astonishing and even amusing? Going into battle, we sang our Edurnian songs. They intoned their Kedweni hymns to Creve. But when fire descended from the sky, our cries of pain were no different. We all wailed as humans. For an instant, the magnitude of the tragedy brought together our two warring nations.
I still have no idea where the spectral fog came from.
I'm afraid I don't know either.
I need royal blood.
As you know, I've yet to be crowned.
But blood of your royal ancestors flows through your veins.
True, but that doesn't mean I'll shed a drop for some vagabond. Are you a witcher or a vampire?
I need it to save Saskia.
I need you to live. Don't bother me with such audacious proposals.
You might be surprised, Prince, but I have more political experience than I'd like.
The famous Geralt of Rivia, invited to the table by Calanth, Foltest's little favourite. I've heard you've even parleyed with the Emperor of Nilfgaard. Think I'm impressed? Calanth is dead. Meve curses your name when she hears it. Foltest was murdered before your very eyes, and the Emperor, as I heard it, he thought you insignificant.
Are you going somewhere with this?
Indeed. You should know that a king sometimes needs a hired thug to take care of dirtier deeds. If the thug is naive enough, instead of reaching into his purse, the king buys him with virtuous words, the flash of his rings, pledges of friendship. And when, having done his deed, the thug departs, swaggering proudly like a peacock, the king discreetly giggles. Truly, I never thought you could be so pitiful.
What's this? Clad in hues of green amid shrubs.
People of Vergen, we have a magical mist full of ghosts just outside our walls, so you'd better think twice before entering it. The mist, may the plague take it, threatens all manner of creatures. So anyone headed to the quarries or walking through the gullies should take exceptional heed. The squirrels that have made camp by the burnt huts are not our enemies. So says Saskia, and so it is. Master Geralt of Rivia and Sorceress Philippa Eilhart will deal with the mist and the wraiths. And now, open the gates and get to work.
How are things?
Everyone awaits the battle. Some pray, others drink. Zoltan and Yarpen are chasing peasants around the square. They need a bit of drilling. Iorveth's warriors are trying to be inconspicuous. So they should. I'd feel better if they crawled up the devil's arse and disappeared. But Saskia thinks we don't stand a chance without them.
How long have you been alderman?
My predecessor was killed 3 years ago. I was one of his advisors. I knew my way round the circus. So I volunteered to manage things. No one opposed me. Mostly I deal with trade and taxes, and I organise assorted matters. In the end, everyone listens to Saskia exclusively, me included.
This must be the first revolt ever to be taxed.
We can't feed ourselves nor fortify our walls with rebel slogans alone. But rest easy. Stennis and the nobles won't get a single oren from us. Though, of course, the prince is just waiting for the right moment to get his grubby hands on our finances.
I'm sure his motivations are pure, and he'll do it exclusively out of regard for his subjects. Cecil, do you know anyone who fought in the war 3 years ago?
I did.
Did you fight here at Vergen?
Of course.
Philippa claims you know a bit about the battle.
That old kook insult, called king by some, thought that Adernians were bumpkins who'd ship bricks as soon as his troops crossed the river.
Why did he attack Edirn?
According to Henselt, Upper Edirn is the ancient legacy of the Kedweni crown and must be returned to the mother country. Brazen farter.
That brazen farter had a point. If you read some history, you'll know that 300 years ago this land belonged to Kedwen.
Load of crap. 700 years ago, the elves reigned here. And 1,000,000 years ago, these lands were the domain of the worms. If things worked that way, every king could invade a neighboring land and claim his right to do so because an ancestor took a dump there.
All right. Hensel wanted to conquer Upper Edirn. What then?
He rolled in, got hammered, and rolled out.
Cecil, that doesn't help me much.
It wasn't a battle. It was a slaughter. If I try speaking of it, I'll see it all again. I don't want...
The ghosts of the fallen fight in the mist. They turn into horrible creatures called Draugrs. Edirnians, Kedweni, men, elves, and dwarves too.
Bloody hell. No peace even after death.
I want to help them, but I need to know more about the battle.
Very well. Listen, a beautiful day that grew hot later. Very hot. When Van de Grift attacked in the afternoon, he sent the Dun banner at the fore. Many of our lads shit themselves at the mere sight of their standard, but we had a surprise of our own. Under the cover of night, we prepared fire pits. Our archers lit them up at the right moment. I still can't believe we managed to fool their scouts. If it wasn't for that ambush, we wouldn't be speaking today. They likely wouldn't be in Upper Edirn at all. We decimated the Dun banner, but that was only the beginning. Seltkirk was our commander. Everywhere he appeared, the Kedwenis gave ground. He wreaked havoc among them. Hearts rose at the mere sight of his armor. Then Van de Grift himself entered the fray. Seltkirk met him in the middle of the field. In the end, Van de Grift killed Seltkirk. A terrible death that sent the Adernian ranks into disarray. I thought it was the end of us. Then the sky fell, as if the stars themselves had decided to avenge the death of a great knight. Fire covered the battlefield. Nobody sought the enemy. They were all looking for somewhere to flee. Yes, there were no more friends and enemies, only the living and the dead. They say it was the doing of a Kedweni sorceress who wanted revenge on Van de Grift. Could be true, as Henselt had her executed right after the battle.
Remember anything from before the battle?
As if it was yesterday. Henselt's troops crossed the Pontar the third day after the autumn equinox. Edirn had good spies, so we were ready for them, and Seltkirk lined up our troops along the hills. Our hearts rose at the sight of the banners of Vengerberg, Aldersberg and Gullet fluttering in the wind. Knights and armoured infantry side by side in our ranks. Even the peasants had their regiments. The dwarves were on the left flank. Over 5,000 strong we were. Nobody caring about race or background, like never before. Only King Demoven was missing, but he must have had more important business than defending his country.
You saw the Kedwenis cross the river?
From afar. I saw Van de Grift leading 4,000 heavily armed men. Many a heart sank when we saw the elite bearheads or the armoured banners from Ardcarrig. The Dun banner was in the middle, veterans of Brenna. As soon as he set foot on Adernian land, Van de Grift climbed a hill and surveyed the area, as if it was his fief. Son of a bitch was as sure of himself as ever. Upon spying him, I remember the dwarves all dropped their trousers and showed him their asses. Then Seltkirk stepped out in front of us. His white armour shone in the sun. We They were afraid a kid Winnie Arbalest would shoot him, but they too stood as if frozen, and Selkirk just looked at them and bowed ever so slightly.
You captured the Dunbanner standard?
Henselt's choice troops, and not a one survived. The visitor sent them to their deaths, refused to give them reinforcements. He was a monster in human form. The men of the Dun were real swaggerers. Killed a lot of our lads, but for every Dunner, there were 7 Adarnians. They had no chance. Aye, we captured their standard. We buried what was left of them in the crypts beyond Vergen. Their standard lies with them. Worthy foes are to be respected, even in death.
I'm going to need that standard. Did you see the duel between Selkirk and Vandergrift?
I stood half a furlong from them. Never seen a fight like it. Probably never will again. They'd already met once, at a jousting tournament in Ardcarreg. Selkirk won there. He beat on the visitor so hard he broke his sword. Selkirk was a true knight, the last of his breed. Vandergrift was so pissed off after that tournament he hanged the smith who made his sword and ordered a special one from a sorcerer. I bet he cut down Selkirk with that new sword.
Vandergrift is dead. What happened to his sword?
Saskia's got it. Good thing too. Only her hand can tame the hatred enchanted in that sword. After the battle, when the flames abated, the scavengers came. They stole everything. Imagine, not a single keepsake or Selkirk in the whole of Edirn. His brother babbles something about a gauntlet, but he's a lying dog.
Thanks, Cecil, that was helpful. I think I know what I need to lift the curse now.
Madame Eilhard claims you need 4 symbols. The standard symbolizes death. Vandergrift's sword stands for hatred. What about the other 2?
I have a feeling Philippa has a handle on the rest.
Here's hoping you're right.
I must talk to you, Witcher.
What's going on?
I'm Elias, of Iorveth's commando. I have an urgent matter.
Tell me.
Men from Vergen have been disappearing for some time. We recently found some of their corpses, so it doesn't seem to be desertion.
Only men among the victims?
Young men, humans and elves.
Where did you find the bodies?
In different places, mainly in the burned village near the ravine that leads to the town.
I need to see the corpses.
They're all buried.
Where?
Beneath a mound in the forest behind Vergen, but you shouldn't go there.
Why not?
Desecrating graves is a serious offense. The families of the dead will be furious.
What state were the bodies in?
They looked gruesome. Nothing an elf would have done, nor a human.
I don't work for free.
You'll get your reward. Do well, and I may give you something more than coin. We're losing good men.
I'll see what I can do.
Let me tell you about the
Look,
woman who
another
fell
one.
from the sky.
You let one human in, and in no time.
I heard you saw something interesting.
As clearly as I see you. Amazing. I look into the sky. But wait, you must buy a fellow a drink for such a story.
Well, you shut it already. We could all recite this bullshit now.
I'm a client and I'll say what I want. Pour me some Mahakaman mead and no cheating. This noble wayfarer will pay.
I'll pay, but if you bore me, I'll shove this meat up your ass.
For such a fine liquor. And my ass has no taste. You won't regret it.
Speak.
Last week I was passing by the gullies. I like to take a hike from time to time.
Get to the point.
Hush. So I'm walking and suddenly there's a flash. A crack. I'm thinking, a storm's coming. But nary a cloud in the sky.
You hit the ground with your arse so hard you saw a flash. You were that drunk.
Then I saw people lying in a gully as if they'd fallen from the sky, a man and a woman. The woman was so beautiful, I wished she'd fallen down on me.
Did you get a good look at the man?
Huge fella. His mug cut up like he shaved with a scythe while drunk.
What did the woman look like?
A redhead, wearing a vest and high shoes with pert tits and a round arse. Just waiting to be grabbed and...
Sounds just like your old lady.
Shut your mouth!
What happened then?
Well, the woman was hurting, couldn't get up. The man clearly disliked her, because he didn't help her. He just stood there, menacing and talking, and then he left. And the redhead stayed.
Noticed her tits, but didn't even try to help her, you sod.
I was about to do exactly that when a troll came out of the gully. Ugly as shit after blueberries.
Did it attack her?
Not at all. I hid and saw everything. First he sniffed her, so I thought he'd eat her. But he didn't. He threw her over his shoulder like a sack and returned to the gullies.
Is that all?
Yes. Didn't waste your money, as you'll agree.
I heard human women need only sit astride a man's pants for a bit.
How can I help you?
I'm looking for places steeped in magic. You remember any stories of sorcerers or magical places in the area?
Not counting the fire-spitting bitch from 3 years ago. Well, a sorcerer once lived in the wood beyond Vergen. You could look there. Maybe something's left. You might also speak to Cecil. Nobody knows Vergen's history as well as our alderman. How can I help you?
I'd like to play dice poker.
So, shall we play now? You won.
I'll take my coin, please.
You're too good for me. Try the head man, Cecil Burden.
Might do just that.
That witcher, who's he?
He travels the land,
Geralt!
killing monsters.
Come on!
Why's he got those glistening eyes? Geralt, sit down. We haven't yet celebrated your raid into the mist. Sorry. Where are my manners? Sheldon Skaggs, veteran of the battles of Sodden and Brenna.
And all inns along the way.
You've already met Vergen's elder?
Greetings.
Gentlemen, not sure about you, but my throat's parched from all these greetings.
Funny, those were the first words out of your mouth.
Master Dandelion's right. Around for everyone! On me!
I'd gladly drink, but Saskia was poisoned and time is of the essence.
How can we help? Speak!
Have you ever heard of a plant called the Dwarven Immortelle?
Have we? The pigs have tight arses.
To tell the truth, I've no idea, Skaggs.
It's just a saying.
You're the only one using it.
Witcher, the Immortelle. It appears most often near anthracite and aluminosilicate deposits.
Philippa needs it to heal Saskia.
A rare curio, but there's a mine nearby, and who knows? You might find it deep underground.
Is the mine far?
Not at all. It's in Vergen itself, in the town's upper quarter.
You're eager for this expedition, but nobody told the Witcher that the mine's closed.
Closed? That's true. But it's long overdue a cleaning. Weed out all the underground shit.
What are you talking about?
Not a month ago, miners started disappearing. Must have tapped the wrong vein and woken some scum from the deep. We wanted to send a crew of stout fellows in, but Saskia said she needs all the soldiers she can find up top and ready to defend the town. We closed the shaft, fearing the filth would emerge and overrun us all.
Looks like we arrived just in time, eh, Geralt?
So it seems. Let's go.
Right on. With this crew, we needn't fear any monster. How about you, Sheldon? You coming with us, or staying around to get your fuck?
Another chance that this won't come around in a hurry. Fucking can wait. I'm with you.
Let's meet at the mine's entrance.
Sorcerers mutated him when he was young.
Weber! Eh? That's a witch.
The Witcher's on board. We can go.
Let's get to work, my bearded friends.
Open the shaft, Skags. If you kill off those monsters, the whole of Vergum will be grateful. I'm sure some coin would be found.
We'll keep that in mind, Cecil.
So, Sheldon, you opened the shaft yet?
Keep your pricks in your trousers. You can't just plough forward all the time. A mind is like a lover. You need to be gentle, so she accepts you moist and hot.
You and your music, Sheldon. No snaps.
Poor son of a bitch. He almost got away.
I think I heard something.
They're close.
Come on!
Damn carrier. That was close.
What was that?
Necrophages. With this many appearing, they must have a nest nearby.
Show yourselves! I'll let you taste my axe!
Oh, you're making them shit bricks.
Even then, they'd stick less than you.
Right. That should do it.
Damn it! Grab your weapons.
The miners tried to collapse this passage. I wonder what's down below.
Maybe some shit-filled necrophage cesspit.
Oh, they hide the corpses they drag in down there.
Hey, gentlemen, let's focus on finding a dwarven immortal, please. They're here.